He's here not only on behalf of just himself and being just a great human being, but we're going to talk about his new company, Defy, and what that's all about. He's talked about it before. Let's talk about it again. He's Terrell Davis. How are you, TD?
Rich, how you doing?
I'm better for talking to you. You want to ask Terrell Davis the poll question, Chris Brockman, since we're having a really good time with it today? Because SpaceX, I don't know if you see that we're launching human beings into space today.
Yeah,
Terrell,
I saw that.
Okay. Go ask him that question. Ask him the question, Chris.
All right, TD, would you want to go into space? Unforgettable experience, yes. Or no, after 30 seconds, then what?
Yeah, I'm more of the probably not. I'm all right. Like, I think I don't have a fascination with outer space and going to a planet or somewhere where people, it's just not been there. They haven't been there enough times to tell me exactly what's happening. So no, I'm not that intrigued to go to space.
TD, let's get full disclosure then. You got to get to full disclosure then. Is it because of your loss?
It's not the Blue Angels. No, Rich,
it wasn't.
No.
Terrell, we have seen TD versus gravity. That has happened before.
No.
And you passed out flying with the Blue Angels. This has nothing to do with that experience for you.
It has nothing to do with that. It's not even that. Number one, I have flown with the Thunderbirds. I've flown with the Blue Angels.
Right.
That was my second time flying with them, and you know what the mission was. The minute I went up there, the pilot, we were up there for an hour, and he wore me out. And he got me. He caught me slipping on that one because we were coming in and land a plane, and he told me, he said, "Listen, are you up to do one more maneuver?" And I said, "You know what? Not really. I'm kind of worn out." He said, "Oh, no, it's only about a 1-2G turn, so don't worry about it." And I was like, "All right, cool, whatever. If that's the case, then do it." He pulled a 7G turn on me. I wasn't even ready for it, and he put me to sleep. So he caught me slipping, Rich. But, yeah, you know what? Everybody get caught slipping every once in a while.
Did you give the pilot a talking to, Terrell Davis, once you came to?
Yeah, I told his ass, "Don't never do that again." I said, "Don't ever do that again, man." When I woke up, I said, "Did you just put me to sleep?" He said, "Yeah, but you're back with me, buddy." I said, "Don't ever do that again."
What Super Bowl was that you did it for NFL?
That was the one that was in Arizona.
Okay,
who was playing that one? Was that the Steelers and the?
It had to have been. It couldn't. It couldn't. No, the Steelers and the Cardinals was in Tampa. That probably was the Patriots going for the perfect season versus the Giants, TD, because we have been showing that every single time for a Super Bowl thereafter when John Elway pays a visit. Like, if anybody wants to see another human being laugh at a great friend's expense. It's when John Elway, we would show it to him, and he would. You can't even use the word cackle to describe what he did with delight and glee, to the point where he would then come on and request it.
Yes.
To see that video.
Yeah, that's certainly. It is the go-to for him. So if you want to get John Elway laughing and hysterically, play that video.
I'm sorry to bring it up, TD. You didn't expect this to be brought up.
It's all good. I didn't expect it, but that's okay.
I know we're talking about manned space flight.
I'm a team player.
How are you doing otherwise? Everybody good in your neck of the woods? Life's good? Everybody healthy right now?
Everybody's well. Yep, everybody's well. We're, like everybody else, just trying to figure out when we'll be able to get back into the normal routine. But, everybody's well, man.
I'm glad to hear that. I'm very, very glad to hear that. What do you think of I like the Broncos draft, TD. I liked what your guy Elway did. I think they're building do we call it a sneaky good offense? I mean, when you've got the running back group that they have, and you add Jerry Jeudy now. I mean, this is I kind of like what they've done right now. What do you think?
I agree. I think this is you get a sense from the way the season ended last year, where you got Locke, who kind of opened some eyes up and really got the confidence and the teammates and his teammates excited about him as a quarterback. And as you know, for many years, Denver has been looking for that guy. So So I think he's not only showing it on the field, but I think his personality in the locker room has really come through. And I think that's what people are looking at. When you have a guy that has an infectious personality that is able to connect with the players and still go on the field and perform at the same time, I mean, that's encouraging. And he seems to have that it factor. You know, when the game is on the line, he seems to be calm, and he seems like he might be that guy. So I think the Bronco country is really excited about that. And you talked about it. You go draft Jerry Jeudy, first rounder, get KJ Hamler in the second. Then they drafted Albert O in the fourth round. So they're putting a lot of weapons around this young quarterback. And then you go out there and get Melvin Gordon, the free agent, which I like. And the reason I like Melvin Gordon is because he's a veteran running back. They didn't pay a lot to get him. And anytime you can get depth in this league and have running backs that's a little different in skill sets, it's always a plus. So yeah, man, I'm pretty excited about what Denver looks like this year, and but it's got to play out, man. You're in that division with Kansas City, so yeah, points have to. You got to go out there and be a team that's their defense will be good, but I think to kind of come back what Kansas City is doing, you got to have an offense.
Plus, Melvin Gordon's going to have a chip, certainly against the Chargers. The two times they take him. How do you see the splits going? Running back with Phillip Lindsay and Melvin and the rest of the crew. What do you think?
Yeah, I don't know because a lot of times it's a feel for a game. It's game plan specific.
Right.
Especially because you have guys with two different skill sets. I imagine it's going to start off with Melvin being, the first, second down back. But if the package is there, if they're running a wide open offense, maybe it includes Phillip Lindsay a little bit more in that. But I don't know how they're going to divide that the reps up. It might just be by feel, and the hot man gets the potato, man. I don't know.
Terrell Davis here on the Rich Eisen Show. Hey, did you see the Last Dance? You check that one out?
I did. Of course, man. I saw that.
What did you think of the whole conversation about Jordan's demeanor with his teammates and his leadership skills and the way he went about it?
Yeah, I think people were a little surprised by it because unless to see it from the inside, you look at. I think they see Michael Jordan in a different light. I mean, he was brutal. I mean, he was hard on a lot of his teammates. But I'm not surprised by that, and I've seen that with great leaders, and I've seen that with really talented players. He wants to be great, and he expects everybody else to be the same way. And he held them to a standard and held them accountable. And it might have been his style is different than how I use my leadership style, but that's the way Michael Jordan felt he had to motivate players. And I wasn't like a lot of people like, man, there's a lot of people were upset and in their eyes, it might have diminished Michael Jordan's kind of this stellar image that he had, but it didn't take away from, in my standpoint, it didn't take away from the way I see Michael Jordan.
Well, I mean, the thing that got me, it didn't change the way I looked at Jordan either.
Okay, good.
But no, not at all. I mean, shoot, you saw me in episode 10 with hair. I mean, I was covering it at the time.
I know.
You saw that.
I saw a little young Rich Eisen.
You saw that, right? I mean, I was there. I was there. I was covering it. I was the guy sitting next to Stuart Scott, so I couldn't get a sniff of the Jordan highlights on SportsCenter. I couldn't even do that. So, no, so it didn't change my opinion of him at all. It's him saying...
I'm surprised, though, Rich. I'm surprised how much I didn't know he had. I mean, the man had a cigar everywhere he went. Like, he smoked a cigar 24 hours a day. I was shocked by that. I didn't realize.
No, yep. And to this day, even too. But no, the thing that got me is that he said if you disagreed with it, I'm paraphrasing here, then you haven't won anything. And, there's been a lot of guys, maybe didn't win 6 and lose 0 in the opportunities that he made it to the finals. But, I mean, he did get knocked off before he won his first three-peat, and then he did, come back to the point where he wasn't physically able to compete for a championship before another three-peat. But, I mean, like, what is Elway like? I mean, Elway's a goat.
Like that. Yeah,
he was not like that, right? What was he like? What was he like?
No, but there's different leadership styles, and we know that. And there's different players they play different roles. John's leadership style was more of he was going to go play and ball out, and that's the way he led. And he would rarely say anything, and if he said something, it was very significant. I mean, it meant something. But it might be the fact that it's two different sports too. Because I hear Kobe Bryant was pretty, verbal about his leadership style. And in football, you got so many players, like you're not going to be out there talking to everybody like that. That's just too much going on. But John was about handling his business, leading by example. If he had to say something to you, he would. But for John, man, just to get on the field with him, the presence of John Elway made me have to play better. I had to gain his respect. I had to make sure that I didn't mess up, that I was coming to bring my A game every time I played because I had to answer to him. And you didn't want to let him down. You felt like he had more authority than the coaches. It's like Peyton Manning. When Peyton Manning's on the field, man, you feel like that's the person that I got to play for this guy. Otherwise, I'm not going to be in this huddle. And so it was a different leadership style. But yeah, I wasn't shocked by it.
Yeah,
demanding.
Yeah, I know. And, I mentioned that to Shaq when he came on, and Shaq's like, what do you think I was like? You know what
right.
I mean? That it's not just, specific to Michael, that there's a certain demanding quality that, you would think maybe every Hall of Famer has it, but that's the difference between being great and all-time great in many people's minds, right? And certainly you excuse it if it's particularly rough when it results in 6 championships and no losses in 6 NBA finals, Yeah,
and you can say the same thing for coaches too, Rich. I mean, there's coaches who they don't bite their tongue. You talking about like Bill Parcells? He was rough, like he was straight direct. You listen to Bill Belichick and how his style is, and then you have some coaches like Mike Shanahan who wasn't like that, or Pete Carroll or some other coaches. They have just different styles, and as long as you're winning and you're successful, people will excuse it. They'll be like, okay, he's rough. He's a little abrasive, but he's winning and got their attention. And people just, they accept it.
Terrell Davis here on the Rich Eisen Show. We've been talking about how people do their business. Let's talk about your business. I give you the floor on Defy and what it is and how people could seek it out for some help.
Yeah, Defy is a CBD performance drink, and it has 0 THC in it. We've been around actually our anniversary was a week ago, on the 21st. So yeah, we made it to 1 year.
Happy anniversary.
It has electrolytes in it, coconut water, B vitamins. It's really helpful for you to perform, maintain, recover. It's a really good pre-workout, post-workout drink. We just launched our Defy Zero, which is coming out next week, and you can get our stuff at drinkdefy.com. And it's really helped me out, man. I've been on CBD for 3 years now, and it's really allowed me to be able to work out harder, recover faster. Inflammation's gone, pain is gone. It's really been, to me, it's been a life-altering experience, and that's why I was able to get with my team, and we developed Defy. And so we're pretty proud about it, man. So check us out again, drinkdefy.com. The other thing we did was during this pandemic, we were able to donate over $400,000 worth of products
That's
to
amazing.
Feeding America throughout this country. So we just try to do our part and, just try to give back when we could. And we're really proud that we could do that.
To help you with your migraines, TD? How often you have those still?
Yeah. So the other thing that I didn't expect was, I've been having migraines since I was 9 years old. And I've substituted out my migraine preventative medicine, which was an anti-inflammatory, for my product, the CBD that I'm taking. And so the last 2.5 years now, I've had one migraine. And so that's been remarkable. And that was like a half migraine. So it really works as an anti-inflammatory to help me prevent and manage my migraines. And I've been more than thrilled that has been the case, because I did not expect it I wasn't even thinking about that until I read more research about that, and there were some articles and some research that suggested that it can help with migraines, And yeah, and it's been so that's really been the key for me, man.
Has there been any research from you or your team about how Defy could help anybody stay conscious during a 7G turn that a pilot turns on a dime? Has there been any research on that?
No research with that, Rich, but we're working on it. And I'll let you know what we come up with after we do some research to keep people awake.
I have been told during the process.
That's the question. So, what was your answer about the space?
Of course, I'd go into space. Are you kidding me?
You would go to space?
Why wouldn't I? Why not?
And do what?
What do you?
Terrell Davis, baby.
What if you have mechanical issues and you can't get back to Earth? Are you cool with that? Like, I mean, you fine with that?
See,
stand up there?
No, we had an all things being equal situation here. All right, that I would be. First of all, you want to talk reality. I'm not passing a physical to be sent into space right now. As a 50-year-old man, you were part of the original 40-yard dash, TD. You've had a front row seat. Okay.
Yeah.
So,
yep.
I mean, if you want to bring in reality to this, I'm just saying, would I want to go? I said yes. I turned to Chris Brockman, with whom I think I share a kinship and a similar sensibility of life. And every now and then, he'll turn up and say something dumb like, yeah, but then what? I go up, then what? And I'm like, what do you mean? Like, I feel, how old are your kids, TD?
9, 7, and 5.
Okay. How many times do you have to tell your kids, just look out the window when you're driving? I feel like I'm saying that to a child. Like, just look out the window. Look out the window.
Well, I think that for me it would be a few problems. One, I'm kind of claustrophobic. Like, I don't want to be in this capsule. Don't feel like there's enough space in that thing, right? And then how long is this trip? It seems like it's a pretty long trip. How long?
What do you got things to do?
You're a silly guy.
Now, now, do I have my iPad? Can I watch? I mean, can I get on internet? What can I do on this camera?
Well, it's funny you should ask. Actually, we had an astronaut on before you.
Oh, really?
Yes, he watched the Super Bowl from the International Space Station, TD.
Okay.
So you can get the red zone. I mean, if that's what your concern is. I mean,
okay.
We'll get you home for dinner if you give us a few.
How long is the flight? How long is it?
I'd say a week. A week?
A week?
Yes. You got to go up. You got to spin around and go home.
No. Hell no.
What?
I'm good. I'm all right.
I love it.
What's your threshold on space flight before it's considered too long? 2 days? 2 days? 3 days? I mean, give me a range, TD.
I don't like being on a plane for 4 hours.
By the way, I've seen you on planes. You put a blanket over your head so people don't bother you when you fall asleep. You never awake on a plane. I've traveled with you.
You get that right. That's about a 4-hour trip. 4 hours, 4.5 hours.
So what if we gave you a blanket?
About a week.
What if we gave you a blanket? You do your usual flight thing without the passing out, and you put the thing on your head, and you go to sleep. You could probably sleep.
Wouldn't last. That wouldn't last. So that number one, that would defeat the whole trip, because wouldn't you want to see if you're going up there, you want to look out the window like you said and see Earth get smaller. But I wouldn't want to do it. I mean, the first couple of hours might be cool. But I can't be on that. And then when you get there, what are you doing up there, man? What are you doing, seriously?
I mean, Terrell Davis, we're simpatico
Oh
here, buddy. Thank you so
what
much.
in the world?
Thank you so much for backing my
By the way, this is a serious question. If you're claustrophobic, what's it like underneath a pile of 19 300-pound men who've just tackled you? You must have gone crazy down at the bottom of a pile.
No, that's not. No. That rarely happened, by the way. Rarely.
That's why you're in the Hall of Fame. You avoided contact. I get it.
Right.
I see it.
That's not good, man.
All right, TD, thanks for the call. You're the best. Best to your family. At Terrell_Davis on Twitter. At The Real Terrell Davis on Instagram to learn more about Defy and just hang with TD. Thanks for the call, brother. You're the best. You're the best. That's Terrell Davis. Hey, you watched all the way to the end. Thanks for that. Watch more right here.